There is one thing women fall for more than looks, money, status, or confidence. And most men never develop it. Not because it's difficult, but because it feels uncomfortable at first. This is why only a small percentage of men ever experience women moving toward them naturally, without chasing, without convincing, without effort. And once you understand this, attraction stops feeling confusing. What I'm about to explain is not a trick. It's not a line, and it's not something you say. It's something you do internally, and it changes how women experience you instantly. Most men believe attraction is created by adding something: more effort, more attention, more words, more reassurance. But the men women fall for are doing the opposite. They are not adding, they are removing. Removing urgency, removing neediness, removing emotional dependence. And what remains is the one thing women respond to at a deep psychological level: presence. Not loud presence, not dominant presence, but grounded presence. The kind of presence that makes a woman feel calm without knowing why. Most men don't realize this, but women are constantly scanning for one thing when they interact with a man: emotional stability. Not perfection, not charm, stability. A man who is emotionally stable feels safe to a woman's nervous system, and safety is the foundation of attraction. This is where most men lose. They confuse excitement with attraction. They confuse intensity with desire. They confuse attention with value. So they lean forward emotionally. They try to secure interest. They try to make something happen. And the moment they do that, attraction starts fading. Women don't fall for men who chase emotional outcomes. They fall for men who are centered regardless of outcomes. This is the one thing only a small percentage of men do. They are okay either way. Not pretending, not acting indifferent, genuinely okay. That internal state changes everything. Your body relaxes, your voice slows, your reactions soften. And women feel that shift immediately. This is why some men can say very little and still create attraction, while others talk endlessly and feel invisible. It's not about what's said, it's about who is emotionally grounded. Here's something most men are never told. Women don't fall for men who try to impress them. They fall for men who make them feel relaxed enough to be themselves. Relaxation opens emotional space. Emotional space invites curiosity. Curiosity leads to attraction. This is why women often pull away from men who are overly attentive. Not because attention is bad, but because attention driven by need feels heavy. Heavy energy creates pressure. Pressure kills desire. Another uncomfortable truth is this: women are far more sensitive to emotional intention than men realize. They don't just hear words, they feel the reason behind the words. If you ask questions to get approval, she feels it. If you compliment to get validation, she feels it. If you listen because you want something, she feels it. And once she feels that need, attraction quietly shuts down. The men women fall for are not trying to be chosen. They are choosing whether they enjoy the interaction. That shift alone puts you in the top 1%, because most men are seeking approval, not connection. Another thing that separates these men is how they handle uncertainty. Most men panic when things are unclear. They want answers, they want reassurance, they want certainty. But women are not attracted to men who collapse under uncertainty. They are attracted to men who remain calm inside it. Life is uncertain. Emotions are uncertain. Relationships are uncertain. A man who can remain steady without needing immediate clarity feels strong, and strength is attractive. This is the one thing women respond to again and again. Not dominance, not control, but emotional self-regulation. A man who regulates himself does not outsource his emotional state to a woman's reactions. He doesn't rise too high when she's interested. He doesn't fall apart when she pulls back. He stays centered. That consistency creates trust. Trust allows attraction to grow. This is also why women fall for men who don't overshare. Not because they are secretive, but because they have emotional containment. They reveal themselves slowly, naturally, without pressure. Depth unfolds over time, and depth is attractive. Most men give everything away too fast. Their thoughts, their feelings, their intentions. And once everything is known immediately, there's nothing left to discover. Discovery is exciting. Predictability is not. The men women fall for create discovery without trying, because they are not rushing toward an outcome, they are present in the moment. This is the one thing only a small percentage of men do. They slow down. They slow their reactions, they slow their speech, they slow their emotional investment. And by slowing down, they gain influence. In the next part, we are going to go deeper into what this one thing actually looks like in real interactions, how women subconsciously respond to it, and why men who try to copy behaviors without changing their internal state always fail. Stay with me, because once you understand this, attraction stops being something you chase and starts becoming something that happens around you. To understand why this one thing works so powerfully, you need to see what actually happens inside a woman when she's around a man who has it. Her nervous system begins to slow down. This is important because attraction does not grow in tension. It grows in regulation. Most men unknowingly create tension when they interact with women. They speak too fast. They react too quickly. They try to read signals and respond perfectly. All of this creates pressure, and pressure tells a woman's nervous system that something is off. A man who does this one thing creates the opposite effect. He doesn't rush emotionally. He doesn't chase reactions. He doesn't adjust himself to fit the moment. He stays internally still. And that stillness becomes contagious. When a woman feels her nervous system calming around a man, something subtle but powerful happens. Her guard lowers. Not because she decided to trust him, but because her body feels safe enough to relax. Relaxation is the doorway to attraction. This is why women often feel comfortable around certain men very quickly. Comfort here does not mean friendship. It means emotional safety without boredom. That combination is rare. Another reason this one thing works is because it reverses the usual emotional dynamic. Most men are emotionally leaning toward women. They are waiting for reactions, waiting for approval, waiting for signals. This puts the woman in a position of emotional power. But when a man is emotionally centered, the dynamic flips. He is not leaning in. He is not pulling away either. He is simply present. And that presence invites curiosity. When a woman senses that a man is not trying to extract anything from her emotionally, her attention naturally moves towards him. Not because he demanded it, but because nothing feels forced. This is why men who do nothing often seem more attractive than men who do everything. They are not doing nothing externally. They are doing something internally. They are not reacting. Another deep psychological reason women fall for men who do this one thing is because it signals self-respect. Self-respect is not loud. It is not announced. It is felt in boundaries. A man with self-respect does not over-explain himself. He does not justify his preferences. He does not beg to be understood. He is comfortable with being liked or disliked. That comfort creates emotional authority, and emotional authority is attractive. Another truth most men miss is that women are constantly reading emotional consistency. They are not looking for perfection. They are looking for predictability in emotional regulation. If a man is calm one moment and anxious the next, attraction breaks. If he is grounded regardless of the situation, attraction strengthens. This consistency makes a woman feel that she can relax into the connection. Relaxation allows desire to exist without fear. This is also why women often pull away from men who mirror their emotions too much. If she is excited and he becomes overly excited, there is no balance. If she is uncertain and he becomes anxious, there is no anchor. A man who does this one thing remains the anchor. He doesn't mirror emotionally, he stabilizes emotionally. That difference is everything. Another powerful effect of this one thing is that it creates emotional polarity. Polarity is not dominance, it is contrast. Calm contrasted with emotion. Stillness contrasted with movement. Without polarity, attraction feels flat. Most men destroy polarity by chasing emotional closeness too quickly. They want to merge, they want to connect instantly, but attraction needs distance to breathe. The man who does this one thing allows distance without fear, and distance creates desire. This is also why women often find themselves thinking about men who didn't give them everything immediately. Their mind fills the space, and whatever the mind fills with emotion grows. Another uncomfortable truth is that this one thing exposes insecurity in others. Men who lack it feel uncomfortable around men who have it. Women feel drawn, because groundedness reflects back emotional truth. It shows who is stable and who is not, and stability is always attractive. This is why trying to fake this one thing never works. You can't imitate internal calm. You can't perform self-sufficiency. It has to be real. And the only way it becomes real is by letting go of the need to control outcomes. This is why only a small percentage of men ever develop it, because it requires surrendering the illusion of control, letting interactions unfold without gripping them, trusting yourself enough to be okay either way. Most men can't tolerate that uncertainty, but the men women fall for can. They are not outcome dependent, and outcome independence is magnetic. In the next part, we're going to talk about how this one thing shows up in your body language, your timing, and your silence, and why women subconsciously test for it before they ever allow themselves to feel deeply attracted. Stay with me, because this is where the difference between knowing and embodying becomes clear. Now, let's make this real, because this one thing is not abstract. It shows up very clearly in how you move, how you speak, and how you handle moments most men panic in. Women don't analyze body language the way men do. They feel it. Your body is constantly telling her whether you are settled within yourself or searching for something outside yourself. Most men reveal their internal state without realizing it. They lean forward too much, they fidget, they adjust their posture constantly, they rush their words, they react immediately. All of this communicates the same thing: internal urgency. Urgency tells her nervous system that you are not grounded. A man who does this one thing moves differently. He moves less, he moves slower. He doesn't rush to fill space. Stillness is not emptiness. Stillness is confidence without noise. When you are physically still, people feel your presence more. Another place this shows up is in silence. Most men fear silence because silence removes distraction. Silence exposes emotional state. When silence appears, insecure men rush to fill it. They joke, they explain, they say things they don't even mean. A man who does this one thing allows silence, not to create tension, not to manipulate, but because he is comfortable inside himself. And when a woman feels that comfort, something subtle happens. She starts talking more. She fills the space, not because she's nervous, but because her curiosity activates. Curiosity always moves toward what feels calm and undefined. Another moment where this one thing becomes obvious is during emotional shifts. Every interaction has them. Sometimes she's warm, sometimes neutral, sometimes distant. Most men react to these shifts emotionally. If she's warm, they rush forward. If she's distant, they chase reassurance. A man who does this one thing does neither. He notices the shift, but he does not change his center. His emotional state remains consistent. That consistency is deeply grounding. It tells her that she is free to feel without having to manage him. This is one of the most important parts of female psychology. Women do not want to manage a man's emotional state. The moment they feel responsible for how you feel, attraction fades. A man who regulates himself removes that burden, and relief is attractive. This is also why women often test men unconsciously. Not to be difficult, not to play games, but to see how stable the man is when things are not perfectly smooth. Small disagreements, playful resistance, delayed responses. These moments reveal everything. A reactive man exposes insecurity. A calm man exposes strength. Strength here does not mean dominance. It means emotional self-trust. Another place this one thing appears is in how a man handles attention. Most men crave it. They want signs. They want validation. They want reassurance that they are doing well. So when they get attention, they cling to it. They try to maintain it. A man who does this one thing enjoys attention without needing it. He receives it calmly. He does not become attached to it. This detachment is misunderstood. It is not lack of interest. It is lack of dependency. And women can feel the difference immediately. Dependency creates pressure. Interest without dependency creates attraction. Another subtle but powerful area is timing. Men who lack this one thing rush timing. They rush connection. They rush intimacy. They rush definition. A man who has it allows timing to unfold. He does not force closeness. He does not push distance. He responds to what is actually happening, not what he fears might happen. This patience signals confidence in himself and in the process. Confidence in the process is rare, and rarity creates value. Another detail men miss is how women experience emotional leadership. Emotional leadership does not mean deciding where things go. It means being emotionally steady regardless of where they go. A man who panics when things slow down is not leading emotionally. A man who remains grounded when things slow down is. Leadership is not movement. It is stability. This is also why women are drawn to men who seem comfortable with endings. Not because they want things to end, but because comfort with endings signals emotional independence. A man who could walk away calmly if needed feels safe to be close to. A man who cannot let go feels threatening. This is why this one thing is so rare. It requires inner security. Security that does not depend on outcomes. Most men never develop it because they are taught to chase results. But attraction does not respond to pursuit. It responds to presence. In the next part, we're going to talk about what happens when attraction deepens, how men usually sabotage it without realizing, and how doing this one thing consistently is what separates short-term interest from lasting desire. Stay with me, because this is where most men lose what they finally gained. When attraction begins to deepen, this is where most men unknowingly destroy it. Not at the beginning, not during the spark, but right after they feel it's finally working. They sense interest, they sense connection, they sense momentum. And instead of staying centered, they shift. They become more emotionally available, more responsive, more invested. They start leaning in. And that small internal shift changes everything. Women don't fall away because attraction disappeared. They fall away because polarity collapsed. Attraction is built on emotional contrast. The man who does this one thing never collapses that contrast. He remains the same person before interest, during interest, and after interest appears. That consistency is what women are testing for, not consciously, instinctively. The moment a woman feels that a man's emotional center now depends on her response, something in her nervous system tightens. Not because she dislikes him, but because pressure has entered the connection. Pressure makes attraction feel unsafe. Another truth most men don't realize is that women don't want to be secured. They want to feel free to choose. The moment a man tries to lock something in, define things too early, or emotionally anchor himself to the outcome, freedom disappears. And when freedom disappears, desire fades. A man who does this one thing allows attraction to breathe. He does not rush clarity. He does not chase reassurance. He does not seek guarantees. He trusts the process because he trusts himself. This self-trust is extremely attractive. Another place where men fail is emotional escalation. They think deeper connection requires more emotional expression, so they reveal more, they share more, they open more. But depth is not created by volume. Depth is created by pacing. A man who reveals everything too fast removes mystery. Mystery is not secrecy. Mystery is emotional depth that unfolds over time. When everything is known immediately, the mind has nothing left to explore, and attraction feeds on exploration. Another subtle shift that happens when attraction grows is emotional responsibility. Many men start feeling responsible for how the woman feels. If she's quiet, they worry. If she's distant, they try to fix it. If she's uncertain, they reassure. But the moment you take responsibility for another adult's emotions, attraction begins to die. Women do not want to be emotionally managed. They want to be emotionally free. The man who does this one thing allows her emotions to exist without reacting to them. He does not absorb her moods. He does not mirror her uncertainty. He does not take her feelings personally. This creates emotional safety, and safety allows attachment to grow without pressure. Another critical detail is how women experience attachment. Women do not attach because a man wants them to. They attach because they feel calm and grounded around him over time. Attachment is not created by intensity. It is created by emotional reliability. A man who is emotionally reliable does not change under stress. He does not become anxious when things slow down. He does not become clingy when things feel good. He does not disappear when things feel uncertain. He remains steady. That steadiness is what allows a woman to relax into the connection. Another thing men misunderstand is the role of space once attraction is present. Space is not loss. Space is integration. Women often need space to process their emotions. A man who respects that space increases desire. A man who invades that space out of fear destroys it. This is why the man who does this one thing never panics during pullbacks. He sees them as natural regulation, not rejection. And because he remains calm, attraction often returns stronger. Another truth is that women attach to men who could leave without resentment. Not because they want them to leave, but because freedom creates trust. A man who stays by choice feels safe. A man who stays because he's afraid to lose feels dangerous. This is why emotional independence is so attractive at deeper stages. It removes pressure from closeness. Pressure-free closeness is rare, and rarity creates desire. Most men lose women not because they lack attraction, but because they lose emotional grounding when attraction appears. The man who does this one thing never loses grounding. He does not need attraction to feel whole, and because of that, attraction grows naturally. In the final part, we're going to bring everything together. We'll talk about emotional memory, why women keep thinking about certain men long after interactions end, and how doing this one thing consistently creates lasting impact instead of short-lived excitement. And at the end, you'll see how this all connects directly to silence, presence, and emotional positioning, and why mastering those elements is what turns attraction into something effortless. Stay with me, because this final understanding completes the entire picture. At the deepest level, this one thing works because of emotional memory. Women don't stay drawn to men because of moments. They stay drawn because of how their nervous system remembers those moments. Long after the interaction ends, long after the messages stop, what remains is the emotional imprint. Did she feel calm around you? Did she feel free around you? Did she feel relaxed instead of pressured? That feeling is what decides whether she thinks about you later. This is why some men stay in a woman's mind without trying, while others are forgotten even after intense effort. Effort creates spikes. Spikes fade. Grounded presence creates imprints. Imprints last. Women don't consciously replay what you said. They subconsciously replay how they felt in your presence. And the men they keep thinking about are never the men who chased, pushed, or tried to secure outcomes. They are the men who allowed space. Space to feel, space to wonder, space to choose. Another truth most men don't realize is that women bond more deeply to men who did not try to bond with them. That sounds backward, but it isn't. Bonding that is forced feels unsafe. Bonding that is chosen feels powerful. A man who does this one thing allows attachment to grow naturally because he does not need it. And need is the fastest way to destroy desire. This is also why women remember men who handled endings well. Men who didn't cling, men who didn't resent, men who didn't collapse emotionally. Grace leaves a stronger imprint than intensity ever could. Emotional maturity is rare, and rarity creates attraction. Another critical piece is respect. Women do not separate attraction from respect. If respect disappears, attraction fades. If respect remains, attraction can return even after distance. Respect comes from self-respect, from boundaries, from emotional independence, from being okay either way. A man who respects himself does not negotiate his worth, and women feel safest around men who know where they stand internally. This is why trying to be unforgettable never works. Unforgettable men are not trying to be remembered. They are simply consistent. Consistent in how they show up, consistent in how they regulate themselves, consistent in how they allow things to unfold. No emotional mess, no pressure, no unfinished tension. That cleanliness leaves clarity, and clarity allows emotional memory to stay positive. Another thing men misunderstand is why women sometimes come back after long periods of silence. It's not because of words, it's not because of messages, it's because the emotional memory felt safe and unresolved in a good way. No pressure was added, no damage was done. The nervous system remembers calm, and calm invites reconnection. This is why the one thing women fall for is not charisma, looks, or confidence. It's emotional self-regulation. The ability to remain grounded when things are uncertain. The ability to remain steady when emotions rise. The ability to enjoy connection without needing it. Most men never develop this. That's why only a small percentage experience women moving toward them naturally. This is not something you force, it's something you remove blocks to. Remove urgency, remove neediness, remove emotional dependence. What remains is presence, and presence is felt without effort. Now, if this video made you realize why women respond so differently to certain men, there is one video you should watch next. In this video, we focused on the one internal behavior that makes women fall for a man without him trying. But to fully understand why women react this way at a deeper level, you need to understand how their psychology actually works beneath the surface. That's exactly what I break down in my video called The Forbidden Female Psychology Men Aren't Supposed to Know. That video explains the emotional mechanics behind attraction, attachment, and female decision-making that most men are never taught. Watch that next, because when you understand female psychology and pair it with grounded presence, attraction stops being confusing, it becomes predictable, and it starts working in your favor.